So this deck is a build around submission to specifically play Showdown of the Skalds alongside Yorion Sky Nomad here. And what I've kind of done with the build here is I've mixed and matched. I've mixed and matched kind of the Boros control deck that we played last week alongside the Boros mid-range deck that's up on my website that we've played a number of times in the past. Because we're going up to 80 cards, so we kind of have room to like mush those two decks together in a way. So we've got good interaction with things like Skyclave, Bonecrusher, Elite Spellbinder. We've got some Chandras here for the control matchups. I've got Elspeth Conquers Death here as a piece of interaction that also generates value with our Sky Noodles. And then I've got some Search for Glories here to kind of tie the room together and make our 80 card deck a little bit more consistent. This finds legendary cards, it finds us lands, it finds us sagas, so this can find more copies of Showdown, it can pick up Conquer's Death as a removal spell when we need it, so let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this. That being said, I'm looking at this sideboard, and I think I've made an oversight here. Before we dive in, with Velocimus having the weekend that it did, I'm going to load some fries up in the sideboard, I think. And having a way to kill the Dargon is probably a good idea. All right, now let's play some games. We have some, like, Thalias and other disruption, too, but a large order of fries sounds nice. Got some scalding noodles, yep. Well, you can have a beard without having a neck beard. Like right now, I'm rocking the full neck beard here, but like when I care, you can like trim all of this chat and not, you know, hide the fact that you occasionally use a Linux-based operating system. So close. It was. We had a Razer sponsorship for a little while on stream, and people are always like, Jeff, you can't have Razer sponsors. You have a beard. And it's like, listen, you neck beards, you can shave even though you have a beard. I spent way longer on that than I care to admit, and the character limit restricted my creativity a little bit. Well, I want you to know I appreciate it, Squid. Well, my opponent also kept a one-lander, but they're not as lucky as us. But Jeff, wouldn't banning Brainstorm make elves too dominant in his story? Is that a real thing that Legacy people play? What a weird format. Oh, I actually just get to ignore this, huh? Oh, they have Shadow Spear. I guess we'll Skyclave. You still watch the stream? You can, you just can't post in chat. Welcome, Listic. That's not a full neck beard, it's only like 50% neck beard. To unleash the full, you have to be able to store snack crumbs in it for later. Oh, you have to be able to store snack crumbs in it for later. All right. Anywho, this game, it looks like our opponent's actually playing red-white mid-range. So I think I want this Chandra. I don't know exactly how else I want to sideboard here. Helix could be very reasonable because it kills their Bonecrusher Giants, which are something that we care about. And I probably don't need 8 shocks, and I think the third point of damage from Helix is probably a bit better here. Maybe I'll trim a Spellbinder because I don't want to play to their hand. This game is going to be about playing to the board quite frequently. Helix kills Redeem. Yeah, that's a good thought. Can't cast Boros Charm. Wow, they just let it die? I guess they had the second one they were expecting to live. I think if you want to hedge the Velocamist deck, you could put Fry in literal anything. But yeah, if you're explicitly looking to hedge Velocamist, adding Fry to a deck is a good way to do it. I don't know that I'd cut Shock from that deck in general, because I don't know that the deck has a terrible Velocamist matchup. Mercadian Merchant, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome to the channel.
I knew you need. Oh, this is
That's sad. I would have liked that land. This at least gives us mana. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have played this on white so I could potentially quad white spell in a turn. Because if I like draw a red source next turn, I couldn't Stomp plus Helix and they don't play a Chandra of their own here. Deal.
Well, that was a disaster.
That seems fine for us. We'll like do this plus Giant. To increase format diversity, we should add all the other blue cantrips so people play less Brainstorm. I mean, to set a low bar, you're probably not wrong. I would bet that Ponder is better than Brainstorm in this format. Morning, FGC. Todd's on a roll today like a burning car rolling downhill. Yep. I think Serum Visions would probably be fine. They've talked about wanting to have this format similar to Modern Power Level, like. What's wrong, Jacob? Hey, if you're frustrated, you need to take a break, okay? Mommy and Daddy are working. I cannot help you with your game right now, okay? I would be happy to help you when I'm all done today, okay? Take a deep breath, and you need to take a break and do something else if you're stuck, okay? I love you. We need to be a good winner and a good loser, Jacob. You hate good loser? I know. We're working on it. Okay. Hear that, chat? He doesn't want to be a good loser. Thalia, eh? Probably Omen that this turn's gonna get got by the dog. Bant Hateful Things, eh? No, Brainstorm's a lot more powerful than Serum Visions for people that haven't played with Serum Visions before. Ponder and Serum Visions are not They're not in the same, or Brainstorm and Serum Vision, sorry, aren't even in the same class of card. My noodles, chat. My poor noodles. Alright, so I get to drop this like it's hot at least. Well, I mean, to be fair, Limpton, if those cards were legal, they'd also be Brainstorm decks. Why are my opponent's bears so hateful, chat? What did I do to deserve this? Is the next open going to be historic? Definitely. It's not going to be until June, though. Or until July, though, sorry. You see me? Is this thing still on? I think my client's disconnected. Alright, I haven't dropped any frames. How you doing, folks? Welcome to the channel. You know, just wait. Nope, wait. Is it coming back, baby? I gotta waiting for server screen. Oh wait. Oh, I didn't have to restart. I was gonna restart. Looks like it came back. For the follow true night. I think I actually kill these two. Our deck's got a lot of removal in it. I just kind of need to stabilize the board, right? Famous last words. Nice, nice. Okay, now we can take a peekaboo here. That's kind of funny. I gotta take my Omen to the forge before it gets you. Oh, I missed an attack for 3. Probably come back to bite us. She made my Snowland come into play tapped, chat. It's just rude. I'm gonna hold off on the second Bone Daddy because they have the deputy face up. Prince Charming was here, chat. He was ready to play. Fry and Helix both sound great here. Probably want to cut some of my more expensive cards since their dorks are so hateful. You don't want these cards that play to the hand either. I'll be a little bit more trim here, I think. Maybe we leave one Chandra in to fish up with Search for Glory. Probably a decent thing to do. We don't want two Conquerors to Thalia. Let's do that. Leave a bunch of ones to tutor up. Dr. Brouhaha, thanks for the 22. Good morning. I was ready to draw more cards, chat, and they took the joy of drawing more cards away from us. They're a true monster. Gonna prioritize playing my basics out here before we get redeemed again. What you need to tell me, Jacob?
I can't throw my kill though. So every time it's like your kill or different kill or my kill or other kill, still have it.
It's try telling the Switch to restart or restarting Minecraft Dungeons, okay? Sometimes Minecraft Dungeons is a little bit buggy. Yeah. Ultra buggy. Your dad has a lot of experience with buggy software. He plays Magic. Huh? Big true, right? Listen, I just call it like I see it, chat, okay? Ooh, second Helix. Okay. River Trans, thanks for the prime. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Everybody gets a 3/3, chat. Night of Autumn. But chat, they told me walls work. This little elf could just come in and push my wall over. That's not right or fair. Named the wrong Doomblade opponent. How many more decks can we put Noodle and Prince into? Asking the real questions. Pretty sure I want this to be a land. We'll like land, and then we can cast these next turn. Meddling Mage is currently naming Stomp, so I assume this one's gonna name Helix. Since that's our face-up removal spell. And then we'll forge this one, Helix this one. Oh, I should do this first though, right? We'll get counters on it. We done here, opponent? This matchup seems pretty impossible for them. We're just like a bigger mid-range deck. Yeah. Welcome back, Todd. Yeah, and I think a core of this deck is pretty reasonable. Like I said, this deck is basically a mashup of Boros Control and Boros Midrange, but we're an 80-card deck, so we can afford to play the sweet cards from both of them. Yeah, I would be in Brainstorm in the current Historic format. If you want my take that's a little bit more articulated on why I think Brainstorm should be removed, you should watch the Meta Monday episode from this morning. It's a little bit less than 20 minutes. So if you're new to the channel, every single Monday after the big weekend tournaments that go on, I do a breakdown of everything that happened in Historic. We've been doing that for, gosh, almost 2 months now. A lot of them up there. It's a great way to kind of keep your finger on what's going on in terms of the metagame and with the competitive stuff for the format. Something to watch every week. Usually they're less than... This week's was a longer one. There was a lot to talk about. Usually they're about 10 minutes or so. This week was closer to 20. Technically, it's all off of MTG Melee. The MTG data on Twitter just formats information from MTG Melee. Yeah, and someone who's played Magic for a long time, MTG Melee existing has definitely greatly increased my enjoyment of Magic. Having a real data source to parse things from is very pleasant. Getting to Spellbinder Arclight is so good. Man, that's kind of brutal. I guess we hit one land at least. Hey, Kevin, thanks for the 12 months. Yeah, for whatever reason, Twitch is weird, and your sub anniversary doesn't always line up exactly with the day you resub on, which is very silly. Very, very silly. We'll see how big this Stormwing gets. I might be chump blocking with the Elite Spellbinder here. Morning, Shark and Bake. I suppose if I don't chump block with it, I can start putting counters on it. We'll see how big the Stormwing is. I have a nearly 5-year sub on another channel, and my payment day and notification day are now about 2 weeks apart. That's wild. That's a huge gap. I think we're supposed to kill this, right? I think the play is Birth, grab a land, Omen plus Stomp. It's sad that we won't get to blink the Showdown, but hopefully we have enough tools to win this game as is. Is a thick wall, chap. No, we made the Sultai pay for this wall, chat. Because Lord knows our red-white deck wasn't going to pay for it itself. Man, it really speaks volumes to how incredibly stupid and grifter-focused the entire... Like, that should have been the end of it, right? Like, when Mexico didn't pay for the wall, right? Like that, there were so many points over the course of the last half a decade where it's been like, under any reasonable circumstances, this is it. This would have been the end of it. But unfortunately, we don't live under reasonable circumstances. It was just like, yeah. Oh, I don't get the land till end of turn. Am I playing? Is this a land or a spell? This might be a spell, right? I did say reasonable circumstances. That was my bad. Yeah, and then the fact that they had a GoFundMe for the wall and they grifted their supporters to pay for the wall and then made more money off of them. It's just like, the whole thing was just this giant grift. I would feel bad for the victims of the GOP who are getting grifted if they weren't causing such an immeasurable amount of damage to the country in which I and my children live in. I don't remember if it was specifically GoFundMe was the site that they used, but they used a crowdfunding mechanic to pay for the wall, grifting their supporters further, yeah. What's his name? Steve Bannon, there was legal action against Steve Bannon over it, right? Is that the right idiot? It's hard to keep track of all the grifters, but I believe the wall thing was Steve Bannon. Thanks for the follow, Johnny. A grifter is a con man, a con person. There's no more planes to get out of my deck, so there's no reason to blink this. I want to gain 2 with it. A grift is conning someone. A grifter is someone who makes their living conning people. Bannon was indicted and then pardoned over it. Right, he was one of the pardons. I forgot about that. Oh, God, it would all be so funny if it wasn't so incredibly damaging to the United States as a whole. For people that are new to the channel, welcome, Stin and all. We talk about politics on occasion when they come up organically. I fancy myself as aggressively progressive. During the primary season, we had a Bernie banner on the stream. During the general, we had a Biden banner. I vote Democrat because I understand reality, but I also definitely identify more along the lines of Bernie Sanders or Ocasio-Cortez than more corporate centrists like Biden. He would have gotten away with it too. Oh wait, he did get away with it. Yep. honestly, the most unrealistic part about Scooby-Doo is that the grifters in Scooby-Doo generally face punishment for grifting. Forget the talking dog for a moment. Yorion with these omens has really been going to work here, huh? Oh, they're flooping a bird back into play here. And they're getting to... Oh, wait. Lightning Axe still needs to discard a card, right? They don't have cards in hand? Oh, opponent made an oopsie, chat. Yeah, you gotta pay 5 or discard a card for this, and they're out of cards in hand. Yep. Yep. Correct. That is true. There was a really good documentary on YouTube that broke down. I was unfamiliar personally with the origins of the anti-vax movement, and I always knew that it was like super thin and not based on any reasonable kind of science. But the fact that the anti-vax movement as a whole was started as a way to grift money and file lawsuits is just like mind-boggling, even based on what, yeah, H Bomber guy, like his breakdown was really good and all. Yeah, H Bomber guy. Which, damn it, internet aliases, but like his breakdown was phenomenal. Yeah. He had sources to reference and stuff like that, which is always good to see. It would have worked if they would have ordered the triggers differently. You know, they needed to have a card in hand. You can't Lightning Axe. No, you have to cast the spells simultaneously, Jezen. So even if they cast the Lightning Axe first, you have to discard a card to put the axe on the stack. All right, how are we sideboarding here? Spellbinder's probably out. I think Chandra's probably slow. This exiles Phoenix and it exiles the 3/3, which is nice. I think I want Helix as a removal spell. Birth doesn't block, but I think I want to trim. Maybe I want to trim this, actually. I think I'd rather have land drops than Thraben Inspectors. Let's do that. Thanks for digging up the link, Duck Doolittle. Let's just add a command for that. It's such a good breakdown. I think that video about vaccines, and it's a long one. It's like almost a 2-hour documentary. That is the first time in my adult life, at probably 5 or 6 points during the documentary, I was like, man, that's peak awful, and there's no way it gets worse from here. Only to be incredibly disappointed, 10 minutes later when it did in fact get much worse. Like this has to be the peak of the awful. There's no way this gets worse from here. Oh, it gets, oh no. Thanks for the prime smiley face. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, there was basically no bottom. Thanks for the follows, by the way, Walter and Kraken and Citadel. Welcome to Hooglandia. Thalia died, unfortunately, but she hopefully kept them off of a Phoenix for this turn. Definitely kept them off of that other Dorko. That brings this into play untapped, so I think we start there, just hit our land drops. Yeah, Thalia is just a decent card in general in this format. She's good against all these Jeskai decks. Basically always trades tempo even and sometimes wins the game on her own. That is not one that I'm familiar with, Genix. If they don't have an untapped land here, this Helix gets to clear the Stormwing really cleanly here. So hopefully that. Yeah, the Social Dilemma on Netflix is also great. I have watched that one. So I can't Helix proactively here. They shocked in, so they're going to protect it from that. I think we're just scrying with this. In general, you want to play Showdown of the Skalds on turn 5 or later, so you can play multiple lands off of it. Yeah, opponent playing this game really well here, not giving me an opportunity to murder this with Helix. On the off chance they tap out, we'll be able to Helix at this turn, he said. Not true. Maybe I should have just played the other one and scryed again. It's close. So what if I, like, drop Charming Prince? I'm gonna start by attacking for 2 here and see what they do. I could drop Charming Prince, draw Sky Noodle, and then Yorion gets to blink these in and out, gaining a bunch of life, helping us stall against this, which seems appealing. Yeah, I think I'm into that. And in fact, I think I'm just gonna gain 3 when this comes down here, because, like, I've got a lot of value and stuff I want to play out of my hand over the next couple of turns anyways. Just want to try and stay alive, basically. By the way, I always consider it a testament to Hoaglandia that we can talk about topics like, you know, anti-vaxxers being idiots here, and I don't usually have to throw people out for having stupid opinions on it. And remember, if you want to chat with like-minded folks at all times of the day, even when I'm not live, be sure to check out the Discord server there. There's magic channels, politics channels, general gaming channels. More specific stuff too, like we talk about a lot, like Pokemon Go and things like that, and there are a couple of smaller dedicated sub-communities playing different things. Great place to hang out. If we can dodge a Phoenix here, we might be okay, but if they ditch a bird or two, we're probably gonna have a hard time racing. Yeah, bird's real scary. Hey, can we dodge a second pigeon? Print Chromebox into historic. You're a monster. Alright, so with them full tap out here, we definitely just murder the Stormwing, right? I'm gonna lead on this to try and find an untapped land. It's for the 11 months, Panda. And for the 34, J-Ray. Okay, nice. So I have to shock to do this, but I get the Helix out of this way. We're at 12. Pretty bad showdown, all things considered. They could technically kill us here by putting a bunch of Phoenixes into play. Yeah, we'll get a do-over next turn. Oh, I missed the raid. WMG. I hope you had a good stream this morning if you're still here. Thanks for that. No new burps. Remember to attack with your dorks before you are at the opportunity rises. Good call. Yeah, the racing here could be super relevant. Honestly, we might just be gaining 6 with these Charming Princes too. If they have like a Disdainful Stroke or a Mystic Dispute, we could be in trouble. You get the cards for 2 turns, Frantic Stir, so you get them this turn and the following turn. So I'm gonna bolt in this Skyclave, because if they have a Disdainful Stroke, I need to be able to Helix the Stormwing in response to it getting a prowess trigger from the counterspell. And I want this Yorion as a blocker, so not blinking it back out. We're just going to gain 6 from these princes, plus draw 4 cards. I would like to report a murder, chat. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. I was excited and I clicked the wrong button. That's fine. We should be okay. I should be at 15. The scries didn't matter. I forgot that we were gonna get the counter and save the bird. I just wanted to like not have my. I just wanted to kill their thing. Like we look at me. I have the prowess now. Doug FTG, thanks for the 22 months. Welcome back. Yeah, definitely. In paper, my Yorion dies, chat. It's a game of paper magic. My Yorion's dead every time. Yeah, the opponent has no single card that kills Yorion as a 5/6. And we should just be done here. I just have so much value. Nice. Yeah, it's gas. This deck's been sweet so far. See, chat, we were talking about trying to choose between red-white mid-range and red-white control. With this deck, we just get to play both of them together. It's the circus of value. Hey, Suno Tam, thanks for the 28 months. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. And obviously, Foxhall, being a card from Eldraine, Charming Prince is the one that ties the room together. It shouldn't surprise you, but I like this list a lot. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I looked at a couple different ways to build this. I thought about splashing a third color, but I really didn't feel like we were missing anything that a third color provided. Oh, is another Phoenix matchup? Smells like birds. Some of the definitely birds. Some of the decks play. Some of the Blockhemus decks play Faithful Suiting too. Charming Prince providing a little bit of smoothing is nice. Birth has felt good too. This is a card that always overperforms. I feel like that card's underappreciated. Really sweet lay of the land design. You want to throw 4-3 to race? Maybe. I mean, I think there's a good chance they flip a pigeon into play this turn. Yes, I wanted to step on the pigeon and then play my thing. And technically, when they don't put the bird into play here, I only miss 2 damage, right? Because, like, I get to stomp their face now, and then I cast it. So, like, I'm only giving up 2 points, all things considered, with the line that I took. You can always type record to find our current record with the deck, chat. My exclamation point record. Forgotten Glory. Thanks for the 29 months. Good morning, good morning. We have not drawn Search for Glory yet. I'm confident it's sweet. It's true. You can also see our current rank with the exclamation point rank command. Some of its draws line up exactly like that Precipice. It's basically like we took that deck at mid-range and mushed them together because we need to fill 80 cards. We did clean out some of the old variety game specific commands. So if we Omen this, and I think we Skyclave the Sprite Dragon to make sure that can't grow up crazy to kill us. And like next turn, we can Sky Noodle a bunch of stuff. The odds of dying from 15 here should be pretty low. I'm sure there's some amount of insanity that could do it, but... Don't you want to Omen the Sprite? I dislike putting Phoenix underneath Skyclave if I can avoid it, because a 4/4 is really big. Whereas this way, if they kill this, a Yorion blinking Omen gets to kill the token, because like a 4/4 token trades with my Bone Daddy. Putting things bigger than 2 under this is often not great. Like, obviously, there's situations where it's correct to do it, but in general, if you have ways to play around doing that, I think it's usually right, too. Yeah, I agree. Skyclave. Skyclave is a really sweet card. Powerful, but not busted. Shatterskull is very close to lethal. They are not quite dead, unfortunately. We had an untapped land, they'd be dead. It's probably just Noodle, right? And now I think I'm going to go ahead and exile one of these. I'm going to go ahead and murder the token here. The stereo tapping was such a quality upgrade. To the left, to the right. Do 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 do. Okay, there's a 4/4. So hey, Wing, thank you for subscribing 6 months in advance. I appreciate that that vote of confidence. I certainly hope to be here 6 months from now. Thanks for keeping me around. I did see they gacked Modern. This is on an adventure. I can't stomp their face. I think I'm Sky. I think I'm going Skyclave, exile the Phoenix, force 2 trades, draw Sky Noodle. It's a little aggressive. They do have an Ox here waiting to escape, so this might be wrong. But I also get to, like, Thraben Inspector, Yorion, Blink Inspector, Blink this next turn. We're through 2 birds at this point. There's a third for their bin. They printed cards that broke Eldraine in Modern. Sparksmith and Easy Decade, thanks for the follows. Welcome to the channel today. That's a little sad that Yorion won't get to blink that and take the 3rd Phoenix. This wall at least chumps this for a turn, though, so we got that going for us. Shatterskull is actually not a terrible draw here because Shatterskull means that we could potentially kill a blocker next turn to have Yorion be lethal. Ooh, I wonder if they have a Lightning Axe here. We could be in trouble. I agree. And in fact, so if you didn't catch Meta Monday this morning, something that's a really good observation from Meta Monday that lines up with my experience on the ladder is based on the metrics of the tournament, the blue-red Phoenix deck actually has a pretty only okay matchup to slightly bad matchup against random other decks in Historic, while Jeskai Control largely dumpsters the brews and random other decks in Historic. So while Phoenix is very good, a lot of its win rate comes from the fact that it's really good against the best decks. We could die here, huh? Yeah, and now they get to escape this. Yeah, we're basically gonna need to peel a burn spell here, huh? They have 3 draws and a Stomper Omen. Well, yeah, it's so much easier to metagame against Phoenix than it is to metagame against something like, oh, is it better to scry? Oh, I should scry at upkeep, right? Because I can scry, bolt myself, draw another card. That gives me an extra look, right? So that gives me 2 looks and then a third and then a draw step. Whereas if I sack both of these, I only get 3. Ooh, it does remove Yorion as an out. I've already drawn 1 Yorion, though. There's only 1 Yorion left in my deck. Oh, I could... No, never mind. Yikes. Yikes. I'm ready to get shocked out of them now. Perhaps. Really close game. You did make it to an entire year, Bennis. Thank you for the 12 months. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Alright, so Spellbinder out. Thraben Inspector out. A Chandra out. It's my last trim. Play just both of these, honestly. Yeah, I think so too, Giraffe. I think if you take Brainstorm out of the format, Phoenix is still one of the better decks, which is a big reason to get rid of Brainstorm. I don't think any of the decks that currently play Brainstorm are rendered unplayable by removing it from the format. So it's basically a net positive to make those decks slightly less consistent by removing it. The Marvel deck becomes bad without Brainstorm, sure. As a Dragonstorm player, please don't. I think some of the B-list decks become worse. I agree with that. Some of the B-list decks become worse. Your Snow Ramp deck isn't good with Brainstorm, sorry. Although, to be fair, your B-list decks probably get better from the fact that Jeskai control gets worse. Is a real thing. They haven't changed anything, Murky, but they likely should. Sure, that's one specific deck, Precipic. I'm talking about generically, Jeskai control is very good against random decks in the format. And again, if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about with Brainstorm, be sure to check out Meta Monday from this morning. We broke it all down in long form there. Hey, what's going on, DM? I leave the highlight my message in there because people seem to like it, but I usually catch most messages even without highlighting. I think Jen has to be clipping along at a pretty high rate for me to miss things. Or a child or some distraction has to be involved. I think I take get rid of the bird here. What's going on, Stone? You can use those chilies to make sure black-white vampires never sees the light of day. As something of a victim of our own success here, Probs, we haven't been able to do as much deck voting as I expected to because we've had so many deck submissions. Does Twitch chat count as a child or a distraction? Yes. What's going on, Kurt? Welcome back. And you see all this frivolous channel pointing going on in chat? This is why there's so few shillionaires, chat. Chat just wasting their money. How are you supposed to pull yourself up by your bootstraps without all those channel points? What are channel points indeed? You ate less avocado toast, you'd be a shillionaire by now, chat. What's going on, Flock? Look at all the avocado chats. I'm already a shillionaire, I can afford it. Well, there you go, Wargy. With the real life advice. For the 15 months, Blood Moon, welcome back. Alright, so they're gonna murder this and then trade with Bone Daddy. Am I supposed to play Yorion and like have them dead on board? I would like to reflect there's a chance the optimal play is casting Yorion, but I'm gonna draw 4 cards. I just want to make sure chat understands that I know I'm potentially not making the correct play, but this is the one I would like to live with. What's going on, Glitch? Survived an entire march here. Still dead on board, guy. We did draw a bunch of cards that did them. What's going on, Hero? As that is what is going on, Goods. There's not a mobile untapped extension. The mobile untapped extension should list my current deck. It does not do current battlefield overlay, though. What is Snow in our deck? The tutor card that we haven't drawn any copies of because our deck has 80 cards in it. Instead of tutoring for our good cards, we've just been drawing them naturally. See, chat, search for glory. This actually should probably be a mulligan. It's kind of slow and mopey. Turtle, thanks for the 22 months. Usually tune in on YouTube, but I sub because I believe you're a positive force through the community. Not just for Magic, but teaching people how to swallow pills about deck building decisions and all that. Thanks for keeping me around. Good to be here. I want to get this going. Work our way towards getting the 2 life on that sooner rather than later. What's going on, Creeper? Thanks for the follow. Yeah, it's basically the Boros control deck scaled up board game. It felt like the best shell to put it in. What has been the deck of the day? We played Neoform this morning, Neoform combo, and it was actually kind of great. It was low key very reasonable. But that and this have both been fine. What's going on, Dreadskull and Sky? Good morning, good morning. Opponent missing on their 3rd lane last turn's real good for us, obviously. I think with 2 showdowns, I'm gonna play this first one out. Is Historic too fat for Carnage Tyrant? Yeah, I think so. I think largely Carnage Tyrant is just worse than Shifting Ceratops is what it comes down to. I think if you want an uncounterable threat, Shifting Ceratops is cheaper, and the fact that it can have haste makes it better against the control matchups. Yorion Control deck and Historic. We're playing Yorion Control right now. That seems very reasonable. Start with Thalia and see what they do. So they can't double spell here, so we'll just stop this now. So these 2 are going away, which is sad, but fine. We got 2 draws off of this and some counters. Thalia, a touch awkward with how we've got things lined up so far, but definitely more awkward for them than us. If they don't have an untapped land here, Helix gets to murder this, which is great. The question is, do we greed to try and hit untapped land with Showdown first? Sweet, and now I can do this first, because even if we miss, I've got one in hand. Hey, thanks for the Prime Sad Villain. Appreciate the quarter of a year. It's pretty scary. Well, I guess it's not actually, right? I just get to smashing it. Morning, Riker. Thanks for the tier 1 sub. Welcome to the channel. Why doesn't this deck play Animate while asking the real questions? We just get this? I think we just get this, right? Because I'm gonna get set up Charming Prince Yorion loop, right? With this Conqueror's Death, and the chapter 2 here is really good, right? They're thinking about shocking their Phoenix in response or lightning axing it. Yeah, because next turn I can draw and cast this. And if they kill or counter this, it'll come back with this, which is great. Need fling so we can kill people with the wall. Big mood. Yeah, this game's just super over, right? Goodbye. Good old 4-mana fry. I don't even know why I bother scrying shit.
Fire starter there is. Oh, today's my lucky day.
I think there's value in casting this because I have Charming Princes and other Yorions in my deck. Well, I guess I'm through most of my princes. I have 2 Yorions and 1 more prince. Yeah, that's true. There is some value to sacking it to scry at some point. My opponent is still at 18, to be fair, and they have a lot of resources, so I don't think they're out of this game just yet. We've ground through a lot of their threats, but I don't think my opponent's out of this game by any means just yet. Sacred Triome here. Ideally, we're going to be able to kill this Drake without down-ticking Chandra, so we can threaten an ultimate with her. Nice.
Yup, you're going down.
I love when my card advantage draws card advantage, chat. It's my favorite way to play Magic. Yeah, this deck's basically had all of our games have been kind of sick so far. Felt like we've had reasonable tools to be competitive. Thanks for the follow, Blackariba. If you're new to the channel like Blackariba, thanks for dropping in today. Welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. We're here playing Historic usually 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. If you like decks like this, they're a little bit off the beaten path. That's basically all we play here. Usually I play 2 to 3 different decks every single day of the week. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel as well. Basically all of the decks that we play that I feel generate neat games or are worth watching and maybe working on some more end up there in their own videos, cut up deck by deck. Also, a lot of decks we play are viewer submissions. If you like my content and want to support it a little bit, I'd love to play one of your decks on stream at some point in the future for a small donation. Thanks for the 2 months, Entropy Engine. Welcome back. Alright, so they hurt themselves intentionally there, so they are definitely a Death Shatter deck. How often do you try a deck that ends up not getting uploaded to YouTube? Not that often. Usually there's at least something interesting going on in the games that we're playing. It's like, just because I upload a deck doesn't mean it's strictly competitive or good. There's a lot of times I'll upload things just because they had interesting games that were involved in them. For example, what did we play? We played some bad combo deck the other day. It was literally just 40 minutes of us losing. So I decided not to upload that because it just wasn't worth watching. But probably, like, we probably play like 15 or 16 decks in a week most weeks, and I'd say we usually average uploading 13 or 14 of them. So, the Jeskai Turns deck that's on my website actually is not Jeskai Velocamist Turns, it's Jeskai Vadrak Turns. I actually have a banner from my graphics guy for both Jund Food and Velocamist Turns that I'm going to add deck pages for those. I just haven't had an opportunity to yet because I was so busy over the weekend doing other stuff. It was beautiful weekend here in Central Illinois, so we had a lot of outside time with the family. Thanks for the 22 months, Lilypad. Yeah, I don't have a second red to smash with the Shatterskull, unfortunately. Yeah, the Dragon's Approach deck was a good example of a deck that was awful, but had some funny games. Vadrak worked just fine the last time we played it. I like that deck a lot. It's just not something other people play, so it hasn't put up tournament results. I don't know what we're doing here. Maybe it's just Spellbinder, see what's up. All of those decks in the high potential section of my website are decks that I think are very reasonable, but they just don't see play, so they haven't had a chance to prove themselves. It can grab lands, but like spending 3 mana to cast Lay the Land this turn seems really bad. Mucka, thanks for the follow. Like the look of any of the Jumpstart lands? Well, considering Jumpstart's come and gone and none of them see play, I'd assume the answer to that question is a resounding no. Conquer's Death, not amazing against the Lurrus deck. Will have a target eventually, but not in the short term. Latella, thanks for 11 months. Welcome back. Putting counters on this will finally be useful. Oh, you're talking about the basic lands? Nah, I don't really care about basic land cosmetics. I have plenty of nice looking basics in this client at this point. I don't care to spend time or effort getting others. I thought you were talking about dual lands or something. Wait, so if I find another way to gain life next turn, this dies, right? We find, like, another Charming Prince. I think this is definitely just gaining us life here. Make the Scourge smaller. We're just trying to survive for this to get to do stuff, basically. Fortunately, won't be able to blink this. I think I'm just drawing. Am I casting Sky? Am I drawing Sky Noodle this turn? I feel like I want to crack the clue rather than draw Sky Noodle. There could be value in having Sky Noodle rolled up for next turn. The downside to drawing Sky Noodle is I have to either put this into play untapped or shock this, and I don't really want to do that. So I think I just tap land, crack clue this turn. Beaumont's really looking good for the opponent here for sure. Beaumont's drew them 8 cards from the 2 of them. Will they have a way to damage my dome? So, the way this works for people not familiar is the Scourge of the Skyclaves is going to get to live here. Which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. And the Inspector lives as well, which is nice. Okay, speaking of nice. Did I miss lethal? Oh, I did miss lethal. I could have Shatterskulled. Yeah, Shatter plus Skyclave was lethal. Assuming no, I don't know. They're gaining priority here. They could have a fatal push, right? Oh, they're just waiting to pump their thing up. Sure. Footfall's kind of sweet with Knight of the Ebon Legion. Does Death Touch and give it trample? Yeah, I could have Skyclaved this and Shatterskulled this and then attacked 6 because we would have each gotten a counter. It's a good catch. My head was so locked into I need to be controlling here. I wasn't thinking about a pivot. Which is a different dynamic against something like the opponent's archetype. You need to be ready to pivot in these games quite frequently. Should I just go to 2 and try and kill them on the backswing? So I missed lethal the turn before. Thankfully a no justice stream. they're a Kroxa deck, so Rest in Peace is probably worth bringing in. Honestly, Helix is probably worth bringing in just because it's Reach that's randomly going to kill them. Spellbinder, don't really want to be taking cards out of their hand. Miss Lethal there, could have played the Shockland to kill yourself. Oh yeah, ECD is pretty bad. Maybe, Coons. They had a lot of, they used their mana every turn. It wasn't like they were not using their mana instead of doing Kroxa. The board state just ends up very different if they Kroxa instead. Opponent. Wonder if Arena disconnected on them. I guess it could have, and they just got back. Yeah, that's in tweet. Mulligan 2/5, it looks like. Skyclave Apparition. Such a house in this matchup. Basically hard removal. Hand's actually pretty decent against Thoughtseize as well, which is nice. Yeah, the fact that they lost after drawing 8 cards is kind of incredible. I think rather than trying to play like this cat and mouse game of chicken, I'm just gonna go ahead and stomp this now while the stomping is good. It's felt really good, right, Yushi? It's a really neat mashup of Boros midrange and Boros control, both of which we've played before. It's kind of like two great flavors that seem to taste great together in a way. I'm gonna go ahead and prioritize saving my Skyclave Apparitions for their Death Shadows and their other large creatures that get outside of range of Lightning Helix here. When I use my Helixes to kill the things they can kill. Land? Dude. Well, it's not the second red source I wanted for Christmas, but it's better than missing again. Hey, Rack! Thanks for the 19 months. Welcome back. Gotta get the cat out of here. Let's not help them. Thanks for the 19 months, Rack. Snooty Doody, thanks for the 14. Yeah, the untapped extension is really fantastic. For sure. Alright, play a Scourge of the Skyclave so I can Helix your thing and kill both of them next turn. That was not the land I wanted for Christmas. I think we just Skyclave because I need to impact the board. It's the most resource efficient way to do that. It could be wrong to not Helix while the Helixing is good though, because like both of these threaten to grow larger. I guess this is loose if they have a removal spell. Hopefully it's just pump trade. Yeah, they're gonna play a removal spell and blow us out. Yeah, I think I was supposed to Helix last turn. No pump on the knight, huh? Untap land. Alright. Well. I get to make up for my mistake now. Oh, wait. I can't, because it just does. Yep. Alright. Huh. Thankfully, we're continuing to draw Skyclave Apparitions. Almost made Noopsy there. They can pump at instant speed. Opponent mulliganed low this game, but our mana's been super awkward because we haven't been able to draw any, so playing a real game of Magic here. Wow, that's brutal. Yeah, I think we're gonna lose this, huh? It's fine, we'll get game 3 on the play. Hug, thanks for the 33 months, welcome back. Yeah, if we would have had a breath to cast Showdown, honestly, just the 5th land, right? If we would have had a 5th land and been able to Helix plus Skyclave on one of these turns, I think we would have been more than fine. But the fact that we just, haven't been able to do that has been just really brutal. Yeah, and that's too little too late. I'm just not even gonna bother showing it to them. That's fine. I get to take game 3 on the play here. Hopefully I have a little bit better variance for this one. You are misremembering and it was never there. Maybe it was up there way back forever ago when I had historic decks previously is probably accurate, but it was never up there for this most recent round of missions. Don't attack your Death Shadows opponents, chat. If they aren't under 13, don't help them get there. Make them do the work. This is why we kept an otherwise kind of weak hand, you know? You mulligan to a better hand, you just get Thoughtseized and dies, so. In a way, Thraben Inspector's kind of like keeping a card on board, which is nice. Ah, yes. The tried and true lose game 2 to Screw flood out in game 3. Again, just waiting on the attack here. No reason to be overly aggressive. Make them enable their own threats here. Don't do it for them. These are all the lands we missed last game. Get made up for. Hopefully, if we draw more lands, we'll hit more Shatterskull Smashings and the other what's it called card, the Angel card. Some of those utility lands in here, if we must flood. But if you screw in one game and flood the other, do you cut lands or add lands after the match? Asking the real questions. Well, I mean, request granted, huh? You're gonna kill my clue maker? But now I'm clueless, opponent. Got me. Replacing normal lands with spell lands kind of accomplishes both. Exactly that. You'll note that this deck that we're currently playing has 35 lands total in it, and it has 4 Psycho lands, 6 Bolt lands, and 2 castles. We have 12 utility lands. Our likelihood of flooding and not having something to do with our mana is very low. Okay, and now the opponent is below 13, which means they can start casting their shadows themselves, which means we'll get ready to start pivoting into a Blind Crusher. So they can pump the Ebon Legion here. We'll see if they can kill Yorion or not. Yeah, Noodle hitting is huge here. And then I get to Omen of the Forge into Emeria's Call. To be fair, I could have smashed both if I would have played an untapped land, right? No, that's not true. I think we take one and then we murder the cat, right? Great. Deal with all 3 of them. Or kill me, I suppose. There could be a world where we also get killed next turn. With football crater shenanigans. Survey says. Nice. Happy Monday, Eldoon. This one's been good. I don't know that I was expecting much from this, but really kind of reinforcing to me. It's really awesome how the color identities have kind of shifted a little bit, right? Because like for a long time, Boros was like this mostly aggressive color combination. And the fact that like these mid-rangey and controlling variations are able to exist thanks to good answers like Skyclave Apparition and Elite Spellbinder feels fantastic. Yeah, the spell land design is so great, right? Like, really, they really serve to mitigate some of that feel-bad variance that's baked into Magic's core systems. I mean, that flexibility in the choices that you get to make off of them is great. Yeah, Showdown allowing our deck to generate card advantage in colors that often struggle to generate real card advantage. Also nice. It's our first Gandalf of the set. We've got a bunch of Chandras. Oh, Angels. I expect this matchup to go. I guess I would expect this to be hard. We'll see. We're on the play and have a good removal curve here. I get to like exile this, then play this, exile something, and then ramp into this. Yeah, I can see it being very company-based. Honestly, our hand is so good we might be able to beat a company draw, though. Yeah, if they get set up, they can dodge a lot of our removal. The fact that I have a bunch of fries in my sideboard will help this matchup, too. Chandra ramping into Chandra is so busted.
Flammable enough.
Yes, I agree, Springsbug. Strixhaven from a design perspective was just like aces all around on a number of axes. start here.
Oh, today's my lucky day. Hope it's not
And then
too
I don't think we attack into Collected Company here. We just like draw, do the thing, go. Little 5 cards, 4 mana, no plays. Got me. Hey, they're up to 11. If they have another good company here, this Righteous Valkyrie could get active this turn, which means we die. Okay, no second company.
All right, let's do this thing.
Nice.
This is a waste of my time.
Ooh.
Oh, looks like someone's getting fizzled out.
It's the circus of value. So I want Yorion's friends to come back first, and then Charming Prince to happen, right? Yes.
If you haven't heard of me, then get ready to meet my flames.
And I should actually just exile her again, right? So they can't attack her? Yeah.
Hey, at least I tried.
Peace out, my Planeswalker, your go. Yeah, basically. Safe to dance. Safe to dance. Do do do. Beep a doo. We're also no longer clueless here, which is great. Meekness, thanks for the follow. Attack me.
Anyone who stands in my way is getting sizzled. Hope it's not too hot for you.
What do I even get? All of their good cards get exiled by this, right? I mean, like, I don't even know what Showdown's doing, though, right? Like, all of their good cards get exiled by Conquer's Death? I'm pretty sure it's Conquer's Death. If you fail to find, does it even matter? Asking the real questions. I mean, this even exiles Linvala, though. It's really good, Vanu. Yeah, untapped. Untapped is stellar. Alright, so Spellbinder, not very good. This doesn't really block anything meaningful, so I think it comes out. These were kind of whatever. Bring an extra Chandra, because she could, like, sweep up. And she notably, while it's not ideal, she can downtick to deal 6 in a pinch to kill larger things. Not the reason that we're playing her, but it's also fine. It's also showing that you have a 100% win rate. You've broken the format. God bless. You take me to Value Town. Won't you take me to Value Town? Bum 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 bum. Too late. I've already claimed an NFT of the deck. Damn it. I'll make sure to pay you the proper loyalty, Shadow Lord. I appreciate you letting us know. Burn, baby, burn. Do 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 do. Probably just stepping on Soul Warden here. Definitely want to just interact with stuff this turn. The Jeskai turns deck takes a lot of mythics. Huh? For the entire year we'll move it. Welcome back. Appreciate you keeping me around. Yeah, I think it's gotta be Valkyrie, because these die to Helix at least, right? Any videos of both the previous decks? There will be. There were some okay games in the Sultai video. The deck wasn't very good, but it played some okay games of Magic. Like I said, it's not that I only upload decks that are good. The question I asked myself was there Magic in this set worth watching? If the answer to that question is yes, I upload the video. But especially if it's like a deck idea that I get asked about with some frequency. I don't know that we can beat a land here. No land. Great. So we're hoping to find a Ooh, okay, so now we just do this. And then this. No, and then this. Got it. Figured it out. Found the line. And this is gonna gain us 2 next turn. Rude. My poor little noodle has been meddling mage so many times. What is with these opponents and meddling with my noodle, chat? And I gotten away with it too if it wasn't for these meddling mages.
It's my turn. play with fire, you're gonna get burned.
Meddling with my noodle sounds lewd. That's the joke.
I don't need this.
Okay. Oh, baby. Oh, shit. Why are spell lands so good? Why are spell lands so good? Delicious. I would like to draw some cards. Doo-da, doo-da. We are gonna draw some cards. Oh, the doo-da day. Hey, good game, Stardet. Good luck on the rest of your laddering today. I was really fortunate that you didn't hit your 6th land on time that game. I think if you would have hit your land on curve, I'd have been in trouble. Oh, Gato, thanks for the 2/3 of a year. Welcome back. I don't think I would have been able to catch up if you would have gotten against hit me, make an angel there. Yeah, I was super happy with this build. I felt like we used just about every bit of the buffalo. I don't know that I really felt like any amount of it was really out of place or something that I would change or do different. Maybe like the weakest link in the bunch was probably Thraben Inspector, but I also don't know that I really have an explicit cut that I want for it. And this card, it wasn't like this card was bad. It was fine. We blinked it with Yorion a couple of times and it was reasonable. Maybe you get rid of these and just like shove the lightning helixes into the main deck. I could see that being the case. Even without this, we still have what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We probably have enough Yorion value without the Inspector, and then like you get some sideboard slots to free up. Inspector is just like really a card that hasn't aged well in format. It was a card that was playable in Standard, but it's just not nearly as good when it's not crewing Smuggler's Copter is like the TLDR. And honestly, I don't even really know what I want to do with the board slots. I like Helix is a good card, and I like the idea of playing it main, but I don't know that we had any explicit problems that I'm looking to solve. Maybe you like play some cards like Redain or the players only play one spell per turn card to like kind of hate on the Velocamist deck a little bit. The Velocamist deck is like powerful and consistent enough that like having lots of ways to interact with it profitably is probably fine. I think White Omen's very good in this format. I think the best way I can describe this format, this is an issue we talked about with some other cards too, is this is a format where the aggro decks win by miles, not inches. Gaining a little bit of life and creating a couple of chump blockers just isn't really good in Historic when the aggro decks are doing things like Grawl and just running you OVER. You just get dead, you know? So I honestly don't know, like kind of pick whatever you want for the last few cards on the board, I think, to fill out which matchups you want to have a better shot against, but the core of this felt very good. And like I said, I guess I'm not surprised that this felt good. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, for the people, whenever I upload a choose your own adventure sideboard to YouTube, people always comment without watching the video that the sideboard is short cards. Let's put 2 Redains and then a couple of Angels in there. So let's round that. I like that idea. A Baneslayer, a Lyra, and then 2 copies of Redain. So a couple of things for combo control, and then a couple other things for aggro. And like I said, I think that this deck has a really similar core to the red-white control and the red-white mid-range deck that we've played before. And Yorion just gives you this really nice card advantage engine with the Showdown. Search for Color is a little slow in some spots, but I think it was worthwhile. You know, this kind of makes up for the inconsistency we add to the deck a little bit by being 80 cards, because it finds us, you know, these big important cards more often. It also lets us have 5 virtual copies of bombs like Chandra against the control deck game 1 without having to play all the actual copies of Chandra, because it can also be other flexible things as well. All right. At any rate, that's going to wrap up on me for Magic and Historic for this morning. If you're looking for more Magic content, make sure you check out the Meta Monday that was posted this morning on my YouTube channel, breaking down all the Historic tournaments from the weekend. We do that every single Monday to kind of help people keep informed of what's going on in the metagame. I'll be back with more Historic tomorrow morning. But for the rest of the day, we're going to fire up the PlayStation. We started Until Dawn on the PS5.